Hola, jugadores, muchachas, muchachos, rascacielos, feo y guapo. Yo soy Yannis Pappas y yo soy en Argentina. Don't crave for me, Argentina. They have a new president who looks like if Quentin Tarantino made a movie about the Argentinian election. Doesn't he look like a villain in a Quentin Tarantino movie? Or he's a drummer in a Beatles cover band. Javier Milei has won, and finally a libertarian candidate is the president of a major country, man. So we're going to talk all about it. He's a real firecracker. Also, it's a good time for the cryptocurrency agency. As it's been discovered that mounds and mounds and mounds and mounds of sex trafficking and laundering has been going on these exchanges. FTX is down, Binance is under fire, Kraken is being sued by the SEC, and Tether just froze $225 million because it was going to Asian South trafficking stuff. So, these places aren't regulated, so I don't know what a libertarian stance would be on that, but I think it's apropos that we talk about Argentinia's new libertarian master and how that plays in with Bitcoin and things like that, because he is for that. He wants down with the banks. He wants cryptocurrencies. He wants everything regulation. Afuera. Ministry of Gender Services, afuera. Women's services, afuera. He's getting rid of everything. It's just going to be him. The government's going to just be him. It'll be him, and that's it. He's cutting the rest of the whole government, and it's just he's going to make it a free place again. And Argentina before him is in big trouble. 40% poverty rate. They owe the IMF. What I say? They owe the $44 billion or something like that. The economy's in the toilet. The only thing coming out of there is Messi, and now he's in Miami. So Argentina's got nada. So they kind of deserve this guy. Okay? Not only do they deserve him, it might work. We'll see. Finally, the libertarians got a president. If it works, this is going to make libertarians popular the world over. So I am flirting with becoming a libertarian. We got a lot of fun stuff, including me talking about Thanksgiving, what I'm thankful for, and my weekend in Phoenix, where former Governor Doug Ducey came to my show. And I told the audience that he was there, and I said, Doug Ducey's probably the best name politics have ever had. Either you become a successful candidate to hold public office, or the greatest male porn star name of all time, Doug Ducey, starring in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Bone. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour, where news meets blank.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
I'm a man of the people, so I just want you to fill in the blank. News meets, put it in the comments. Happy Thanksgiving. News meets self-destruction. News meets euphoria. News meets truth. News meets social anxiety. News meets, it's a Mad Lib. It's a Mad Lib for the people. This is interactive. It's user-generated. That's what we are. We're a user-generated show. We are interactive. We want to know what the fans think. So give me a tagline. News meets sex. News meets drama. News meets comedy. Give me the elevator pitch so I can take it into a network and get declined. So Doug Ducey, who kind of does look like me, He looks like his.
Oh, yeah.
His eyes look like they're crossing Ghostbuster streams, and his hair is kind of matted down like mine. He kind of looks like me a little bit.
Yeah.
When I'm 60, I'll look like that a little bit. His son Jack Ducey was a fan, and he brought Doug Ducey to the show. I met him for a couple minutes for dinner before. Very nice guy, huge fan of Kerry Lake. But I think very popular governor.
You had dinner with him?
Yeah, I did a quick dinner. I came towards the end.
Yeah. You had dinner with the governor?
Yeah, I had dinner with the governor, the former governor, and got people. It was very cool because these girls came up and they came to our table before and they said, first I want to say, we were right by the club. And they went, first I want to say, Governor, thank you for keeping our kids in school during COVID. And then they went, and also our favorite comedian. And I was like, that was cool. That was cool. Somebody who's a fan of me and Doug Ducey. I guess I am leaning right recently.
Oh, he's an R?
He's an R. He's an R. He's an R. But he's not a Trump R. He's not a Trump R. The Trump R's are new. The Trump R is a new part of the R's. Just like the squad's a new part of the D's. It looks like a lot of the world is making a turn for the right. Italy, that chick, it seems one by one, slowly, these countries are starting to gravitate towards these what do they call them? Anarcho-capitalists or right-leaning, anti-immigration, nationalists. And we got a new one here in Argentina. But this guy describes himself, he's self-described as anarcho-capitalist and a libertarian. So I don't know if this is the first major candidate to be the head of an executive branch of a country who self-describes as a libertarian. I don't know. It's one of the first, if anything, first in a very long time. So libertarians are celebrating online. In a big way,
See how it turns out.
Let's see how it turns out. Now, people on the right, left, and some other people who are on the right in South America say, you Americans don't understand. This guy's another Pinochet. I think he said things that supported Pinochet. Pinochet was a dictator that the United States propped up, who disagreed with a few people, and a few people stopped talking. I think there was a few people who stopped talking. But Latin America has been very left for a long time. All those countries have been very left and all about the people and sort of rebelling against the United States. There's Pinochet, just whenever your guy's in uniform all the time, that's a red flag that the guy may be a little too right. The good thing about this guy is he looks like a beetle. He's not in uniform. So people are calling him another Pinochet, but I mean, the guy's got sideburns, dog. The guy looks like Austin Powers.
Yeah, he does.
He was a television personality who was an economist who would go on these shows in Argentina and boost network ratings. Sounds familiar. And he's a big fan of Trump, I think. He's been called like a Trump clone. And his rise to power seems very similar to Trump. Sort of a media personality who drew big ratings whenever he was on television. The ground was fertile for him to come to be. The economy's in the toilet. It's very left. They got all these government agencies. One of them's for gender, and so they're cutting all that stuff. The gender. Afuera. Afuera. There's a video of him. There it is. Afuera. Afuera. Minister of Culture. Afuera. Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. Afuera. Ministry of Women, Genders, and Diversity. That's a good one. Afuera. Ministry of Public Works. Afuera. Afuera. Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation. Afuera. Minister of Labor Reemployment. Afuera. Ministry of Education. Afuera. He says indoctrination. Afuera. Ministry of Transport. Afuera. Ministry of Health. Afuera. Ministry of Social Development. Afuera. So he's very theatrical. He's He's a populist. But, much like with Trump, everyone blames Trump, for his theatrics and his hyperbole and hasty generalizations and irresponsible speech. But nobody ever says, seems like the ground was fertile for somebody like this. Why is the ground fertile for something like this? Well, I'll tell you, because whenever anything goes too far in one direction, it is just a matter of time before an equal but opposite reaction happens. That's how it is. That's how it is. And so there'd be no Trump if things didn't get so kooky in a lot of ways. If it didn't favor one group of people on the coasts more than people in the middle, it wouldn't have happened. And I don't think this guy would have happened if Argentina's economy was so in a toilet and maybe the government down there has got very bloated and ineffective. And maybe this is what they need, a little hard shift to the right to straighten things out. We will see. I don't know enough about the intricacies of Argentinian economics. I don't know their economy. I know that they're a major economy in South America, one of the strongest, right? That ain't saying much. That's like saying you're the best player in the Wizards. They're the Jordan Poole of South America. They dropped 40, but they're going to go 10 and 60 something. Decades of economic mismanagement. I think the former president got convicted of fraud charges, right? Something like that. I don't know a lot about it. But decades of economic mismanagement have resulted in repeated crises, soaring inflation rates, and a booming black market for Dolores. Now the country heads into its second round. So the IMF's lent out a bunch of money. So he's got to deal with that. Who knows how that'll go? Argentina's peso currency has been shackled by capital controls since a market crash in 2019, which led to an unwieldy array of exchange rates where dollars trade for over twice the price of the official 350 pesos. Great time to go to Argentina on vacay. And if you're a scumbag, pay for a little sexola. The dollar stretches very nice down there. So he's coming in amidst a massive economic crisis. He came in by a landslide too, I think with over 50% to 40-something% that his opponent got. He won in a big way. And he goes, Argentina is going to reclaim the place in the world that it should have never lost. So he's basically, he's going to make Argentina great again. It's what it is. It's the same thing, that Italian chick. They all have similar vibes. They don't play by the rules. They scream a lot. They're emotional. Giorgia Meloni, who I think in some way might have been blood related too. Yeah, do you remember? Mm-hmm. Not saying that has anything to do with it, but I think she is a blood relative of Mussolini. Mm-hmm. Wait, we got to correct that because it's a big statement. Yeah. So she's the prime minister of Italy since 2022. Now, here's the thing. The left wing boo-hoos this stuff all the time. They really start boo-hooing big time, saying it's going to be this big disaster. They're going to be throwing people in concentration camps. Pogroms are going to start. They're going to be catapulting immigrants over walls and into rivers and throwing them on planes and deporting everyone. But did any of that stuff really even happen under Trump? What happened under Trump? I don't even think he built the wall. I don't know. What did he do? He hardlined China? Yeah. What did she say? Yeah. So I was right. Thank God. Because that's a big accusation. The umbilical cord that connects Italy's prime minister, Giorgia Meloni. I'd love to have a cup of coffee with her and smoke a cigarette in a cafe. So what is it? she's related to him in some way, right?
Yeah, I'm looking now.
So she's, the U. She's opposed to immigration, which other countries like Switzerland and Germany have accepted to keep up their population levels. That's what she says. She's not wrong there. Their populations have gone down because people in the West, when you get comfortable, it's very ironic that like richer people don't have kids. And the reason is because they fucking are partying. They're enjoying the spoils of prosperity. Whereas poor people are just depressed and they just sit around and make people. They just keep having kids. So things are a little unbalanced. Cultures are clashing. Old world problems are now coming to the forefront. We're heading back to Game of Thrones. Kingdoms. The medieval times are coming. Zealots, religion, it's all coming back. Traditionalism, nationalism. And the funny thing is, the people who have gone very far left rail against it and are very angry about it and say, they cry wolf about, not cry wolf is not the right way to say, yeah, kind of cry wolf about what's going to happen. And those bad things she's been in office a year. What has she done? I don't know. Is she throwing Nigerians into the street? I don't know what the immigrants are over in Italy. I mean, what's going on? But also, the main point I want to say is they kind of go like, they don't see their role in how this happened. They don't understand that their tug to the far left has enabled the people's opinion and the people's appetite for an overcorrection on the right, even if you want to say that it is, which I probably think it will be. But, that's what happens. That's what happens when you get away from the Doug Ducey center left, center right. Doug Ducey is right, but he's center right. What does that mean? It doesn't mean you're a fence sitter. That's what extremists on the internet's left to say. Oh, the moderates have been... No, it means that you're willing to work with the other party and you're aware that you represent people who don't agree with you. Because when you get elected, usually in a democracy, you win by like 3 points, right? So then you become president or you become governor or you become senator of like a majority that's only like 54% at most, and that's considered a landslide. So you have to also govern for that 40-something%. And that's what center left and center right people do. Now, I don't want to get rid of extremists because they make comedy a lot easier. So I don't want to get rid of them. They also play a role, especially in times like these. Or they play a role when something gets tugged. It's like radicals during the Vietnam era. I think that was great. Women's rights. I think that was great. Sometimes they're needed. The problem comes when you get radicals when you don't need them. You don't need radicals when things are looking great. After gay marriage is passed, after the economy's booming, after gays can marry, and there's tons of social programs, then you got to pick up your plow and put down your sword. But they never do. We need more Doug Duceys out there swinging dick from porn movie to porn movie. Doug Ducey. I mean, look at Doug Ducey. He's fighting against socialism.
This is his new project.
Yeah, his new project is a group to fight back against socialism and protect the economic ideals that make America the greatest country in the world. So he's right, dude. He's right. But he ain't Kerry Lake right. He was able to reach across the aisle and work with Democrats because Arizona is a purple state. Most places now are purple. Right? Even Texas is like a swelling cock, right? Florida's purple. Pennsylvania, Michigan, these places are all purple. Pennsylvania, I said Pennsylvania. All the big electoral college states are purple. Alabama's red. Mississippi's red. They also got the highest poverty rates of any state. I mean, people live in shacks there. If it wasn't for Ole Miss, I mean, what would Mississippi be without Ole Miss? Right? And then you got your blues. You got your California and New York is blue. But there's a lot of purple out there. And so, I don't know. Was Trump as bad as they said he was going to be? I guess if you're a Democrat, you say when it comes to abortion, he was. He did end up overturning abortion, which I think is horrible for the Republicans, by the way, obviously, like I said last episode. But when you get into the weeds of the abortion issue, the Supreme Court said, we just don't think the federal government can implement this, and threw it back to the states. Let the people locally decide. A lot of people personally would say that's bad, but a lot of these states are overturning it and going, we're going to create our own laws. And I think it's hurting the red states a little bit too. I think I read 700,000 people moved to Florida, but now 400,000 are leaving. Why is that? I don't think abortion being banned is helping, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I'm not going to talk about the Middle East this episode. So we'll see how he does. We'll see how Javier and his retro haircut do in actual office, you know? Will it be as bad? Was Trump as bad? He hardlined Asia. Was that smart? In retrospect, I mean, is it the right thing? Probably. Because they are pirating all our stuff. They are building up their military, and you're going, why? What's your end game? What do you want? What do you want? They constantly threaten Taiwan. Yes, the chips are made in Taiwan, but they're designed in America. We're still on top, baby. They're designed here. We could figure out a way to make them here. Aren't we trying to bring it back here? Yeah, Taiwan's going, no, please stop doing that. Because once we make the chips here, we're just going to go, China, take it. It's yours. Taiwan's going to go, no. Because that may just satisfy their appetite. Hopefully that's enough. The thing is, we don't know. We don't know what their end game is. What are they doing? They're not big fans of Muslims. Neither are the Indians. India's also a massive player now. Nuclear power, big economy, a lot of poverty. You know. Big player. South Korea, big player. Japanese, big player. South Korea and Japan is two places I wouldn't be scared to go to. India, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm itching to go there. Pakistan, definitely not. Bangladesh, hard no. Russia, near the no. But before this, I was like, I'm curious. I'd love to see St. Petersburg. Russia's like that interesting mix of like they went communist, but for a while they were like European with St. Petersburg. Russia's like, you know, Russia's like good guy, bad guy. You don't really know what to make of the Ruskies. They're just depressed all the time. And I think they just make a lot of bad decisions because they're depressed. I think they just drink too much vodka. They need sunlights and more vitamin D supplements. And I think they'll be fine. Because, you know, they're kind of up there in the Nordic. They deal with the snow. Okay, a lot of them will blow their brains out. Kind of the cost of doing business. The summers are great. You know, Scandinavia does it well. You know, a lot of them blow their brains out, but they also like are hot and they smell good. They don't sweat a lot. They're always cold. It's great. I'm just thinking of the places I want to go. Spain is also like massively protesting socialism, huge on the street. They're also out there chanting it's not a Muslim country because they got a big history with that, right? They kicked the Ottomans out. They also kicked the Jews out. Whoopsie. Those were Christians. The Jews get it from all sides. I won't talk about the Middle East. I'm talking about Spain. They really kicked the Jews out. And a lot of those Jews did return to the Middle East where they were welcomed a little bit more than they were in Spain. I don't know if that's saying much, but Spain is, the protests are huge. The biggest protest in Spain against Catalan amnesty law, which is, I I guess a law that it drew 170,000 at a protest. That's big. They marched through Madrid this month against the amnesty law, which Spain's socialist government agreed over Catalonia's 2017 separatist bid in order to form a government. So they don't want that. They don't want that. So they're specifically protesting that, but in the streets, they're yelling against socialism. They hate it. So they don't want to separate, right? Why do they want to separate these people? Or are the ones who want to separate? What's going on in Spain? Right now, I'm just admitting I have no idea what's going on.
You brought it up.
Yeah. The sentencing of 9 Catalan independence leaders by the Supreme Court of Spain triggered protests in Catalonia. They were convicted of sedition. So they want out because they're more right-wing? Is that what it is? I'm guessing. That's what it seems.
I think it's its own island.
It's another island.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like Cyprus. They just want independence, but they're still culturally Spanish. So give it to them. Who gives a crap? What's the big deal? So are the protests in the street? Here, just go to that article. Thousands rally in Madrid. Up there.
Which one?
Any one of them, so we can find out what's going on in real time. This is the only news show where we tell you the news as we learn the news.
What the fuck?
Yeah. You're on CNN. There's a lot of ads. They got a lot of bills to pay because they're in debt.
It's a video. Do you want to watch the video?
Yeah, why not? Let's see what they say.
I don't know if we can. Let's find something.
No, just find an article. There we go. Euro News. Agree and close to share our information. Okay. That's a large protest, dude. Wow. The leaders of the Popular Party, they joined the protest. So the Popular Party was out there protesting. Hundreds of thousands in Madrid. Sanchez's Socialist Party finished second in an inclusive July general election, but he reached deals with several smaller parties to back him in parliamentary vote for another term, including Catalan and Basque separatists. Oh, so the people voted him out, but they have something in their government where he could stay in. To win the support of 2 Catalonian separatist parties, he agreed to grant an unpopular amnesty to hundreds of people facing legal action for their role in Catalonia's separatist movement over the past decade. Oh, so he sold out what the majority wants for him to not lose office. Now I get it. Oh. So the agreement with the Catalonian parties, Catalan they're called, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Catalan parties included, what does Rafa Nadal think about this? That's all I want to care. Included opening talks on the possibility of holding an authorized referendum for independence for the region, but with the legal framework of Spain's constitution. Critics say that amnesty is a self-serving measure, right, to allow Sanchez to remain in power and accuse him of trampling on the rule of law. So they've congregated outside the Socialist Party headquarters in Madrid in rallies organized by the far right against the amnesty. Some protests have turned violent. So we will continue to support all mobilizations and calls to oppose the government born from an unconstitutional pact. It's called the amnesty deal a coup d'etat, which it kind of sounds like it may be, considering he lost the popular vote.
Yep.
Oh. Tension. The amnesty has sparked dozens of retired right-wing generals issued a manifesto on Friday calling on those responsible for defending the constitutional order to remove the prime minister and call new elections. So this guy is unpopular. And
Tried to pull a fast one.
he tried to pull a fast one. He made a deal with some other parties. He said, listen, just support me, and I will take another look at your quest for independence. Now, they don't want Catalonia to be independent. Why? Because it's like...
No, I think he was going to give amnesty. They sounded like they were...
Oh, so the guys who were calling for amnesty, the guys who were arrested or whatever, calling for...
Sounds like some of that protest got violent.
Yeah, right. So that's what's happening in Spain. They've also been on the street chanting that it's a Christian country, not a Muslim country, because probably it's part of what they believe, like that right-wing group believes. So, generally you're seeing definitely a right populist movement popping up in a lot of places. You're going to see it again in a lot of these countries because of the protests, I think. Even saw it in England. There's like massive pro-Palestine protests. And then you saw like English dudes with beer guts, like soccer hooligans trying to reclaim it. Like, we got to get out there and fucking protect the streets. Guys, we are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're going to bet on the games this holiday weekend, use my promo code YPH. Why do you use my promo code? First, because you love me, and that helps me. But also, you will get $150 instantly in bonus bets if you bet just $5 by using my promo code YPH. What a thick week of games. I don't even call it Thanksgiving anymore. It's football. It's a holiday.
Well, they got the first Black Friday game now.
First Black Friday game.
Yeah.
Games all this weekend right now. You're watching this on Friday. There's games coming up this weekend. We got some great games, and the spreads are as follows. And you figure out what you want to do here. Looks like the Miami Dolphins are -10 against the Jets. The money line is -520. The Jets plus 390.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's the battle of the worst. Giants, Patriots.
All right.
So you want the Giants, you want them to lose.
But here's the thing. They won last game. Maybe they're on a little momentum streak.
We want them to lose because we want to win that draft pick.
I know, in my heart. But if I'm putting money on it, I'm taking the Giants.
Taking the +3?
They're +3. And so the money line is +136 against the Patriots. I'm taking the Giants on a momentum swing.
Really?
Because the Italian kid, he's getting a home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
He's at home getting a home-cooked meal from his mom.
Getting his laundry done.
Yeah. Houston versus Jax. Jax is -1.5, and the money line's 120. I don't know who I'm taking, but and I don't know who I'm taking, New England and Giants either. I'm just saying these are the lines, baby. Steelers are -1 against the Bengals. The Buccaneers are +2.5 versus the Colts. Good game. The Saints versus the Falcons, -1, +1. -1 for the Saints. These are good games. And the Chiefs and Raiders, that's another one. If you just go for like, hey, let me go with the underdog here. Raiders are +8.5. It's up to you. Do what you want. But go download the DraftKings Sports app right now. Use the code YPH. New customers, like I said, can bet $5 on the NFL Thanksgiving action and score $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Again, with the code YPH, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly, guys. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, in Kansas, must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. It's crazy out there right now in the world. It's crazy. And in Italy and Argentina, you see it happening at the box office. I called it the box office again. The ballot box. It is kind of the box office, though, because it's a show. You're getting tickets to the show. So what are we looking at now? Soccer hooligans?
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, those are some soccer hooligans. Yeah. I mean, soccer hooligans are just British citizens. That's what they are. So if you have a British passport, you're a soccer hooligan. Yeah. Let's just call it what it is. All right. You're a soccer hooligan, and also you're a guy who goes to the Netherlands for sex on his bachelor party. It's what it is. That's who you are. And you wear weird Adidas shoes.
Yeah.
They always got weird European edition foreign Adidas soccer shoes.
And tracksuits.
And you speak with a stupid accent. And who's that?
Oh, that's Cardi B.
Cardi B, is she getting into it with Michael Rappaport?
No, this is her making a turn to the right also.
Oh, what's she saying? This is interesting.
You want to hear this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because we just had Louis Katz in here, and he's taking a turn for the right, and he's the biggest fucking cuck left-wing guy I know. I'm joking. Louis Katz is on the show, and we're going to be cutting to my sit-down with him. His special is out now. It is on his YouTube channel. He's a very funny comedian, and we had a great time, so you got to check that out. So we're just going to take a peek right now at what Cardi B's saying.
Right? In New York, there is a $120 million budget cut. There's a $120 million budget cut in New York that is going to affect schools, public libraries, and the police department. Y'all know I don't give a fuck about the cops, but like it is what it is. There's going to be an $120 million budget cut with schools, with libraries, and the cops, and the police department. And a $5 million budget cut in sanitation. Of a budget cut in sanitation. Bitch, we're going to be drowning with rats. We're going to be drowning in fucking rats.
That's right.
And they're doing the budget cut probably because of the migrants.
A budget cut on these shits. Mind you, and this is why I said, that's why I'm telling y'all, I'm not this year. Don't fucking ask me. I don't give a fuck the resume that they send. I don't give a fuck. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Because how is there a $100 million budget cut in New York City for fucking schools, library, police safety, and sanitation?
Sounds like this show.
About, like, we could fund two wars. Motherfuckers talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation.
Wait,
no,
pause it. She's confusing federal tax dollars with city and state tax dollars. She's confusing the two. New York is not funding the war in Ukraine or Israel. That's not what the New York budget does. They don't go, hey, we're not going to pay for New York schools because we got to send our money to Israel. That's federal.
Yeah, but she's taking shots at Biden right there.
She's taking shots, yeah. But she's confusing the two.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she is. Okay, let's play.
Some shit right now. Like, say it. We really going through. We really are fucked right now.
That's it. So I don't know if that's a term for the right.
Well, she said she's not in because she used to come out hard for the left. She
Right,
came out
right.
for Biden. She came out for Hillary.
So she's saying she's not even endorsing them no more.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, she's done. But she won't go so far as to say, well, she doesn't know. Cardi, let me help you out. You started talking about wars and stuff like that because you didn't want to say, maybe you didn't understand or you didn't say, but New York has paid, taxpayers in New York have paid a lot of money to house a lot of migrants. And it's really put a strain on our budget because Adams was just had no plan. He was just he had no plan. His only plan was to use taxpayer dollars. His only plan was to use taxpayer dollars to fly down to Mexico to tell him to stop coming. He didn't pay for that. We paid for that. Okay, what's Michael Rappaport saying?
He's saying he might vote for Trump.
What? Because he hates Trump.
He was a never Trumper.
He was a never Trumper. So let's hear what this.
Wait, I got to find the video. This ain't
Okay.
it.
Yeah, people are. Well, he probably is also mad that Biden said we got to stop the Islamophobia right when everyone was yelling about Palestine too, right? Is that his thing?
I think this is it. Let's see.
Well, okay, here we go.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. Voting for pig Donald Trump is on the table. I'm sorry. I'll still call him Donald Trump, pig Donald Trump, and all that. But we need to get this whole situation under control.
There you go. It's happening. It's happening.
Wow. Dude, he may get in office and he may roll out a catapult and just
Who, Trump?
Yeah.
Just start shooting people out of the country?
just
Yeah.
out of the country, dude.
We should be able to vote on who gets to
Yeah.
booted.
So like I said at the beginning of the episode, I mean, when you go too far left, the inevitability of a turn to the far right is I just said it. I was about to say the inevitability of a turn to the far right is inevitable, but I'm just being redundant. It's just, we're just, people are just not understanding. They're just not getting a bigger picture here. And a lot of people are going, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. You're partly responsible. You're partly, like, he's sitting there, you're partly responsible, for your lack of nuance in your stances. Your previous lack of nuance in your stances. And now this is how you can identify a grifter, just like a charisma-driven grifter. Dude, this stuff takes history studying. It takes knowledge of economics. It takes cultural understanding. It takes understanding about religion and sectarian differences. What a good what a good understanding of geopolitics entails is a lot of nuance, not just yelling about this and that. Like we said, look, what was the worst thing that happened when Trump was in office? I'll just say it. A lot of irresponsible speech from a guy who's not a politician. I mean, when you look at his record, like, what hardline things did he do besides abortion, which from the left's perspective, I will give you. He got those judges in there and they did what they wanted to do. And that was because of him, right?
Sounds like your vote's on the table.
I don't vote. That's the beautiful thing about it. I don't vote. First of all, I'm in New York. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Second of all, what I am is besides the point because I'm a comedian. It's besides the point because whoever I want, even if I get someone in who I personally like, I'm still going to make fun of them. That's my role. My role is that. My role is to just question, and also make fun and let you decide. You're the people. I'm one guy. But my vote's on the table. Mikey Rappaport, I know you're probably performing at Bananas and Hasbrook Heights. You and Jeremy Piven with Steve-O. Dude, stand-up comedy is the Statue of Liberty of entertainment. Give us your poor, your hungry, your Me Too'd, your political pundits. Kelly Conway did stand-up comedy for a little while. Just give us anybody. We'll take anyone. But he's probably saying this just because of the pro-Palestine protests, right? That's probably a big part of why he's saying it. So it's just starting to, people are just starting to want the chaos to be over. And look, innocent Palestinians are suffering. You can't deny that. I think it comes down to, why is this happening?
Uh-oh. I thought you said you weren't going here.
I know. I'm just saying quickly, I think that's what people are disagreeing on a lot. I don't think you can go up there and say Palestinians aren't suffering. I don't think you can do that. But I think the question becomes, when you pull out and do a helicopter view, you go, why is this happening? How much is it due to their support of Hamas? How much? That's what it becomes. It's hard to avoid because it seems to be what's moving the meter now. It seems to be when you have someone in there going like, yeah, you'll have someone who's very far left go like, I'm not going to say who said this, but you'll go like, I want to side with the Palestinians, but then I see these marches and I can feel that they're like, hate Jews, right? Like, that's what someone said to me recently, off the record, right? And this person's very left and very sympathetic to the Palestinian plight. So that's where we are. We're in that place. We're in that place right now where we're about to see the Christian Ayatollah, the red carpet is being rolled out for the Christian Ayatollah. It's being rolled out. It's being rolled out. The paparazzi setting up. The velvet ropes are being dispersed to the scene. Everyone's buying their tuxedos and getting their fucking religious hats ready. You're going to be seeing a lot of cross chains. The red carpet's being rolled out for the right-wing populist dictators to come in and shut down the party. Daddy's coming home from a business trip, and he's not happy about the way you've been talking to mommy. Doesn't it feel that way? And like I said, we've graduated from wokeism to zealotry. So the brains are still off, but we've graduated from like the pedantic speeches to violence and nihilism. So that's what zealots do best. They sacrifice themselves for destruction, for utter destruction. It's temper tantrum time. Temper tantrum time. Can you remember that? That could be the title. Lastly, this is post this sort of economic nihilism that we saw with cryptocurrency, where these exchanges were unregulated. It was the Wild West. People were investing their country's legal tender in this new nation digital currency, and they were making lots of real legal tender from investing in this on exchanges that have now been proven to be the preferred. First of all, they're all in the Cayman Isles. They're all in the Cayman Islands. That should have been the first red flag. Anything in the Cayman Islands is a red flag. FTX was in the Cayman Islands. Binance was in the Cayman Islands. Binance, I think, was in the Cayman Islands, and the guy who ran it was in the United Arab Emirates, and he was a Chinese dude or an Asian dude or something. Now, he's being... he's willingly given himself up. He's going to do jail time. He's pled guilty. He's apologetic, and he's got to pay $4 billion. So if you got your money on the Binance exchange, sorry. Dude, do you remember, seriously, when we first started this podcast, dude, Jesse, do you remember, and I don't want to go too far, do you remember how I would rail against crypto and how much shit I talk? I probably lost half of our viewership. They hated me. They hated me so much. I think so many fans came over from History Hyenas. You know, they were, you know, they're a little like they're more like libertarians love crypto, right? Because they hate the banks, they hate. So, I mean, dude, he's admitted it. He said, yes, this has been a haven for money laundering by criminal organizations, child trafficking. He's saying yes. He says, I'm facing what I did. He's pled guilty. He's also, like I said, he's living in the United Arab Emirates. They don't have an extradition. What? Am I wrong?
No, just the way you said.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's one of those countries. Whatever it is. United Arab Emirates. What is it? United Arab Spot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's the guys in turbans running stuff. Right? They ride on camels and they smoke hookahs and they got tons and tons of money and they got outside air conditioning and Mercedes. Tons of Mercedes. There's a lot of sand there. So go back to the article.
Okay.
United Arab Emirates. Sorry, that's the way you say it. Immigrants. So they don't have an extradition treaty with the United States. So he didn't have to come. But he said he wants to put this chapter behind him, for him and his family, and he's just saying, I'm guilty, right? So FTX and Binance had like a friendly rivalry, and I think he was going to buy FTX, or he was going to invest in FTX, and then he pulled out, and then a week later, FTX went down, and this kid roadrunnered. I mean, he was hiding. He was like, oh, they're coming for me. He knew they were coming for me. So, they got to pay $4 billion. That's a lot of moolah. And the United States Department of Justice, doesn't want it in coin. They want it in hard dollars. So they don't want it in imaginary money. This whole house of cards is now coming down. I mean, look at Tether. So Kraken is being sued by the SEC for the same thing, and they're denying it, and they say they're going to fight it, right? They're fighting it. And this came after a boom in crypto because the SEC kind of the SEC, sorry. I'm calling it the SEC. The SEC, I think, lost a few lawsuits, right? And so I think crypto went up for a second, but the SEC isn't giving up. They're still coming down. So the SEC claims that Kraken failed to recognize securities laws designed to protect investors, resulting in the deprivation of investor protection and commingling of customers' funds with its own. You know that's happening. You know it's happening. And what this guy what got caught doing was taking the funds and diverting them to another account that was like his. So he's like, they're stealing money. Who could resist that temptation? If you're unregulated and you're not beholden to any security laws, who wouldn't do it? And guess what? They did it because of human nature. I'm sorry, my laissez-faire friends. Humans are greedy pigs. They can't help it, dog. Could you help it?
Oh, no.
If there was no law that you were responsible to? Would you not siphon off a couple dollars for yourself like a manager who says, hey, I didn't get what I deserved? I made you, Tina. Tina Turner, I made you. You deserve that hit in the face. The lawsuit's part of SEC's effort to regulate and bring the cryptocurrencies under its purview, contending that they are securities contracts under U.S. law. Kraken maintains that it is not required to register with the SEC and will continue its services because I think a lot of their clients do love it. And by a lot of those clients, I mean very scrupulous businesses who love investing their money in places that don't ask questions. Right? That's a layman's way to sum it up. I nailed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on right now. So FTX down. Binance, how do you recover from that? $4 billion. Kraken currently being sued, and Tether is funny because they've taken the stance that they have willingly responded to the inquiry from the Department of Justice and are doing it to protect against these child traffickers. So Tether itself enacted the action, supported by blockchain analysis from Chain Analysis. And it really does display how cryptocurrency, their particular exchange, is collaborating with law enforcement. Probably a smart move. They're probably like, hey man, let's be the good guy here. Can you scroll down, or is that it?
That's it.
That's it, yeah. So, hate to say it, but I was right. Now, enjoy this interview with the great comedian who has a special out right now on YouTube. It's doing amazing. In 1 month, I think it has 400K views. Louis Katz. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. Here's a little additional feature to this episode because I got a good friend in town who I haven't seen in person, I think, since you had hair. I haven't seen you since the hair left.
Yeah.
And you haven't gotten, as Dan Soder calls them, hair tits like he has.
No, I'm brave and
Yeah.
I'm courageous, and I decided to shave my head.
Well, the thing is, you got a great looking head, dude.
Thank you.
Like your head is not like your parents made sure that you slept on both sides as a child. So they did a good job of rotating your head.
Yeah.
Because some people who are bald got unfortunate heads. Like
Yeah,
if
they
I
got-
went bald, I'm going to look like a bird. With my fucking with my close together eyes and nose. I look like a bird. It's like a mushed together face, big nose, small eyes. I'm an inbred Turk. My good friend Louis Katz, one of
up,
my
man?
favorite comedians, one of my favorite people. I truly love this guy. You're a lovable guy, and it's just good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. It's been too long. I mean,
Yeah.
you're the first friend I made when I moved to New York. Maybe even I met you before I even moved here when I was just visiting, and you gave me my first paid gig in New York.
I did.
And man, it's just I'm so glad to be here, but it also makes me sad that it's been so long since I've seen you because it's such a pleasure.
It
you
has
know?
been a long time. And you just came back from your honeymoon, and I'm glad that I contributed to that.
Yes.
I gave you a wedding gift, and I didn't show up to the wedding because I couldn't.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like I
that was
can't.
very nice. I don't think I
wanted
would have
to
done
go.
that, but thank you.
Who wouldn't want to go see Ali Wong show up as a fucking celebrity with the guy
Bill Hader.
with Bill Hader wearing masks?
Yes, wearing masks.
Yeah,
the only
but-
people with masks in the whole wedding.
Yeah, I know that because they're Hollywood and they gotta just make sure people know that they got masks. No, I think they probably use it as she's
Pretty
aware
private.
of how big of a celebrity she is.
She's also pretty private. You know what I
she's
mean? And
very
I think it's weird to have celebs that like I'm friends with Ali. I don't know Bill Hader. Like they're just dating. So it's like you don't want to just. I think it's a little bit respectful because you also don't want to draw attention away from the bride and groom, who it's really all about. You know?
Yeah, and it's L.A.
Yeah.
and it's a lot of comedians at the wedding, so there'll
Yeah.
probably be a lot of whispers and shit like that.
Yeah. We had to
yeah.
make it. We had to like the seating was strategic, so it wasn't anyone who was people who were like wouldn't be too star fucky. We put them away from them. You know? Yeah.
And if you wanted to be respectful for Ali and her privacy, I think the good thing would have been to have the wedding in Chinatown. So then, and just tell her not to wear her glasses, and then I don't think anyone would know.
I think it would have saved a lot of money. That's what I think.
You would have saved a lot of money, and I think she would have blended in fine without the glasses. Sometimes she gets recognized because of the glasses. I love you, Ali. But your honeymoon was good. You went to Japan.
Yes, I did.
You're a West Coast kid, so you're a little more in touch with Asian cultures than we are here.
Yes.
The Chinese and Asians here are a little more standoffish.
Dude, it is
Yeah.
weird growing up in LA, growing up in California, and then moving to New York. The way Asian American culture is here, it's just different. You guys somehow it's just not. I don't even get it. You know what it is? There's more Asian people moved more recently to California. Much more.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of used to it.
Right.
That's who we have around. It's like Asian American kids, the children of immigrants, and here it's like. It's like people don't even know. It's like foreign to people here still, which is crazy because it's such a metropolitan city. You know?
Yeah, it's something that I noticed because I was such a and when you say those things like, hey, you gave me your first paid gig, I mean, Ali says the same thing to me. Tim says the same thing to me. I just feel like a local street ball legend. I feel like I'm not even in the business. I'm just a guy from New York who gave everyone their first gig at a bar room. People talk about me like they do Sweet Pea up in like I'm like
You skip to my
I'm
loop.
skipped to my Lou. I'm like a Riverside street ball fucking legend. I'm not even in the business. But
You're
it's
blowing
some-
up. And I also want to say, I mean, just to say this, like, everyone has a podcast now. Maybe not everyone should have a podcast now.
No.
You are built to do this. I think it's so great that you have this because you used to go on a bar for. You would just go off top. You'd go on for forever. And it was good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have things to say. You have opinions, and they're funny,
Yeah, in some ways, I was like podcasting on stage before podcasting started.
It was funny. It was stand up. Most podcasts aren't funny. That's the
Well,
thing.
thank you. But I've noticed that when I have gone to the West Coast, because I'm such like an East Coast kid, when I first started going to the West Coast, it's shocking because you see Mexicans.
Yes.
And there's like a variety of looking Mexicans.
Yes.
Like I was just in Phoenix this weekend and I was like, wow, tall Mexicans and like Mexicans that aren't 5 foot. And like, because that's all we have in New York. It's
Oh,
like-
yeah. I remember the first time I heard Louis J. Gomez once, who first of all is a Latino who goes by Louis instead of Luis. So first of all, like, I mean, there's many reasons to discount Louis's opinion, but
Well, he's a self-hating Puerto Rican.
yes,
So I'll
all right,
just say,
there you
yeah.
go. But I remember he just said something like, you're never scared of a Mexican. I'm like, man, wow, you don't really know what you're talking about at all. You've never been to Los Angeles.
Right.
Like, I'm never scared of them. They're tiny. Who cares? Like, not all of them, dude. Not even close.
Dude, if the Cholos in Los Angeles were smart and they wanted to make some money, they could do like tourist Cholo. Like you can be like, because I
totally.
wanted to see Cholos. You
Dude,
know?
when I was in Japan, how Japanese people, there's like a cholo subculture there.
Yes,
I
they
met
love
one
it.
of them. Dude, he even poses for the picture cholo style with the foot at the angle like a cholo would. He did it for the picture. It was incredible, man.
The Japanese love our hip hop kind of street culture.
Just any American subculture. There's dudes rockabillys who have pompadours and dance in the park to old like 50s music.
Yeah, it's almost like they forgave us for the bomb. It's like that was the Marshall Plan. I think they were very, we were sweet to them. We helped rebuild after we bombed them, and we gave them baseball.
Yeah, totally. They love baseball.
They love
I mean,
baseball.
this is so weird. I just came from another podcast about the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan is in the air. It's weird.
That's weird,
It's very
dude.
weird.
That is weird. Well, because you bring Asian with you.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Every picture I see of you on your Instagram, you're always eating some fucking ramen noodles.
I love Asian
Yeah,
food.
seaweed. You're just a West Coast kind of kid.
Yeah.
You went to UC Berkeley.
That's true.
Yeah, you're a smart kid. You're fucking around Asians. I mean, I didn't know any Asians.
Yeah, I know. It's just how I came
I
up.
mean, sushi wasn't even here, dog. Sushi didn't come to New York till like 99.
That's crazy.
We had Chinese restaurants. They were on every corner, and we only knew Chinese people through Chinese restaurants.
Yes.
Or carrying plastic bags full of plastic bottles.
This is what I'm saying. You did go. It wasn't who you went to school with, right?
Right, no.
This is who I grew up with.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
Just tons of Asian people.
So it was like Mexicans and that familiarity with Asian culture just wasn't a part of New York. Here it was like black, Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
and Jews.
Dude, I don't think
Yeah.
I met maybe one Puerto Rican and one Cuban before I moved here ever
That's
in my
crazy.
entire life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I just didn't understand all this stuff. You know, the thing that blows a West Coast person's mind is black people speaking Spanish. It's like, what the fuck
Yeah, you're
is
like,
this?
whoa,
this
that's-
is weird.
You're like, whoa, wait, yeah. That is funny if you don't know what a Dominican is and you're like, what the fuck?
It's so weird to us. But you know what's funny about all this is everyone else usually thinks I'm from New York. I thought it was just because I think that was their way of saying Jew, but I think apparently I give off New York vibes. I'm like, I think I'm a little aggressive, a little anxious. I don't know what it is, but I had another. I thought it was
No,
just
I think
a Jew
it was
thing.
the first thing you said.
I thought it was that,
Yeah.
and then a Jew brought this up with me recently.
Yeah.
They said, I thought you were from New York. Mike Kaplan. He said, I always thought you were from New York.
Well, Mike Kaplan can't really feel people, so
Right.
he's counting numbers in his head.
He's semi-autistic,
He's
so
dealing
maybe
with his
that's something to
autism.
do
Yeah,
with it.
so he's like, I just thought you were 4 + 6 = 7 Jews, usually in New York. Highest concentration of Jews outside of Israel. I just figured mathematically you were from. Yeah, I mean, New York was basically that.
Yeah.
It was Irish, Italian, Black, Jewish, Dominican.
Yeah.
And we didn't have Cubans. Not a lot of Cubans. We didn't have Asians. We didn't have Mexicans. And so when I go to San Antonio or something like that, it still bugs me. I'm like, yo, I was when I met some Mexicans in San Antonio, I was like, yo, so when did your parents cross the border? They're like, dog, we've lived here for 20 generations.
Yeah, dude.
We're American. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's fucking Mexicans who are Americans. Like, yo, this used to be Mexico. And I'm like, oh yeah, the whole Southwest is
All
like
of it.
something I'm completely unfamiliar with.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah.
It's all different. And I haven't even been to like New Mexico and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's people in LA that have been there like 7 generations, like before it was LA, when it was like a mission. There's families that have been there that long. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
And when I was in LA and I was like shouting out the window, "Where are the cholos?" Like I was with Tim and he was like, "Stop doing that." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Why?" I was like, "I want to see cholos." And he's like, "No, they're not." Like I was like, "But we don't have them." And I was like, I've never like you don't see them that much.
It's like this is like me in Japan trying to see a kabuki lady, but they're not likely to murder me. So I think Tim had it right.
Right? He's like, "No, you
Keep
can't
it
just
down.
scream out, where are the cholos? Take me to the cholo neighborhood." And I'd be like, wow, I would like to want to take pictures with cholos like the Montenegrins, like we were talking about just before the podcast, wanted to take pictures with my black friends because they just didn't see black people in 1999.
I don't think you can do that in LA. I don't think you can do that in East LA. I think
No.
that would
There's-
cause trouble. Unless they're at a comedy club. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
They're tough Mexicans, though.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, they are tough. Now, you just got married. You got back from Japan. You got a new special out.
Yes.
That's important. You're what they call a great joke writer.
Thank you, man.
And you're also a filthy little fucking animal. You don't mind a little dirt since the beginning,
Yeah,
which
man.
is funny, which makes you very endearing because you don't look like a guy who's going to start talking about some woman's asshole or climbing up on an Amazon bitch fucking her jockey style,
Yes.
which is still one of my favorite jokes. Still one of my favorite jokes. I remember is you used to talk about how you love big women, which you do. You had a girlfriend I remember who was like 6'1".
Yeah.
And you used to say that you used to climb up on her like a jockey.
Yeah, jockey style. Yeah. That's in my This Is Not Happening story. Yeah.
You were like, it's less doggy style and more jockey style. And the visual of that is hilarious.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was also felt good.
So you're still dirty, right?
I'm still dirty, but I guess I'm evolving or changing. I always want to push myself. I always want to grow. So I'm still dirty because that's just who I am, dude. It's what I like.
Yeah.
It's who I am. But I'm also pushing myself in new directions and doing more like social commentary stuff. So it's still dirty, but also talking about different stuff at the same time.
Yeah. And where is the special? It's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel.
How great is that?
Yeah.
How great is that? Jesse is, I thought you were looking up Ali Wong, but this is like this compilation. Look at that.
Yep.
How great is that, dude? I did that. and I did it. And it's just a bunch of
what it
comics
is.
saying my name.
Yeah.
And it just like exploded my Instagram.
Yeah.
It just helped so much.
Yeah.
So here, Louis got a trailer. There's W. Kamau Bell.
Yeah.
We were talking about our last
talking
bonus
about him.
episode. We
Yeah.
were like, "Where's W. Kamau Bell?"
Madrigal. So
Madrigal.
I have a bunch of, I have dates on there. I got Stanhope. I got a bunch. It opens with a cold open. There's Marin with a bunch of comedians. They start saying why, what they really love about me, and then they start saying why I haven't been more successful.
Right. Well, me and you were similar in that way. Every time, so I was like, "What? So what's happened? Why?
Yeah, what went wrong?
What is it? What is it?" John Stamos went on every podcast and he brought me up and he goes, "Why is he not bigger?"
Dude, I saw him with the Beach Boys.
Yes.
I saw him. That was the third. You could have, if you came to the wedding, if you were able to. We did the wedding, and then the next day, it was 4th of July weekend, and the Beach Boys were playing at the Hollywood Bowl. And so everyone bought tickets, and we went, and he played. He was like rocking out and everything. It's more of a John Stamos show than the Beach Boys show at this point.
It is much more of a John Stamos show
Yeah.
because the Beach Boys are cadavers.
Yes, they're very,
Yeah,
yes, literally. I mean,
they're-
most of them, the living ones are cadavers, and then a lot of them are literal cadavers as well.
Literally,
Yeah. So
and the dude, I think the lead singer, I can't remember his name. I mean, dog, his voice, it's just not there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little.
you want to see,
Yeah.
when you go to see these legacy bands, which I like doing because I love classic rock, you kind of hope, they're different. Here's my theory. You want the rhythm section to die first. That's why The Who is still good to see live because they
Yeah.
got a younger drummer.
Yeah.
They got a younger bass player. And then everyone else can do it all around them. But you need someone to hold down that beat. You need the drummer to go first.
Yes.
That helps.
He's number one. He's the
Yeah.
Marines of death for the
Yes,
band. Yeah,
yes.
you put him in first.
Yeah.
You send him on the plane to heaven first.
Yes.
And then it's in succession by instruments to the lead singer.
Yes.
You
Your lead singer's dead. You might, I mean, I don't know. I guess people go to see that new version of Queen, but what is that even? It's
Yeah.
not, if it's no Freddie Mercury, it's over. It's done.
I went to see the Beach Boys. He got me. I could have got you free tickets, by the way.
Ah, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I went to go see them at Carnegie Hall with
Awesome.
him. So he got me. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I couldn't hear the songs, and he was just going like, "West Coast girl, if I really." I mean, he's like shaking on the mic, his like arthritis. West girl.
And it's also weird that when they talk about these girls and there's like all these young girls and they're so old. It's like I feel like a little bit of a creep, you know? Like, oh man, these are your granddaughters you're thinking about.
I'm not exaggerating. I think the mean age at Carnegie Hall was 76.
Wow.
I mean, it was some old people. You know when people usually stand up everyone sat the whole concert. And the one person that stood up was like this. And she just sat back down. Like it was just too much. It was just too much for her to do it. It was just too much. But it's good to see that they're still out there and they're doing it.
Yeah, sure. I like to see these guys before they're gone. You know, there's people I miss that I regret not seeing.
Yeah.
I wish I saw Dick Dale before he died. I wish I saw is it Les Paul who used to have a weekly here? The guy who
Yes,
invented the guitar. He had a
yes.
weekly. You could see him every week. I'm always like, I can see him next week.
Yes.
And then he died. You know, and I was a big Nirvana fan, and then didn't get to see them. So I really try and see people while I still can. I saw Tom Petty that weekend before he died.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was just like, wow, I'm so glad I got to see him.
Whoa. I saw Patrice the week he died.
No shit.
Yeah. At Caroline's. We were
Yeah, we
together.
went
Me, you, and
together,
Angelo.
that's right, yeah.
Did he seem out of it?
He seemed tired. I mean, he crushed, but
was
when I met him in the
humongous.
green room, he was just he seemed tired. It's interesting when I look back. like,
Really?
he just seemed kind of tired. I got to see. I went with my ex-girlfriend. We went and saw Joan Rivers,
No
where she
shit.
used to do that small Chinese restaurant in the basement.
No
It was
way.
incredible.
That's so cool.
It was pre Michelle's a man. It's pre fucking. Where she looked like a burn victim, and she's just running around talking about Michelle Obama's a guy. Which was equally as entertaining for different reasons. People just start to lose it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
sure.
she was still on the money, and she was old. It was still old, and she was so funny.
I probably just raw too, like really hardcore.
So raw.
Ah.
She was so raw and so mean.
That's awesome.
She is so mean on stage. She's so mean to celebrities. She's so mean to women. It's really funny. And I think that's why she had so many gay fans, because they fucking love
that mean shit.
sardonic humor.
Yeah. That really means shit.
They're
yeah.
sardonic, dude. They
Yeah.
just love cutting, sardonic, mean humor. And she was fucking mean. And it was really funny.
I wish I'd seen her.
She was like Nate drunk mean.
Man, I missed that. It seems like
Yeah.
another. I mean, it was another time, but it really feels like a different Nate almost. That shit is so crazy.
You know, I speak to him still, and he's still the same Nate. It's very funny. He's still the same kind of maniac Nate in a different way. I mean, I don't think he drinks anymore, which is good for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
But he's the same guy, dude. Nate is. I think that's why he's so beloved. He gets up there and he's probably like, you people, y'all people. I don't know, my people. I don't know.
That is good.
He's got that aw shucks kind of American uneducated thing.
Yeah.
That really connects to our population.
Yeah, well, I think you and him. I think that's why you guys had a podcast together. I say, Nate is the smartest dumb person, and you are the dumbest smart person, and that's why you two go together.
That is a really great way to fucking. I've never heard of bullseye like that. The thing with our podcast, mine and Nate's, was he always blames me, and he still can't let it go.
Really?
I've heard him on other podcasts going like he just didn't take it seriously. Like, it really grinds my gears. But it's like, if you look back, Nate, I mean, I'm talking to you, dude, we did everything wrong. We were recording it out of the Apple microphone. We didn't have video. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't do it every week. It was just like it was so early.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go back to listen to those episodes now and just see what they were. I don't even remember what they were.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I'm sure I was probably on one. I
You
think I
were
remember
definitely
being on one.
Yeah. We had my friend Neil Rosen on another one, who's like a journalist. We didn't know what we were doing. We had no theme. Chris Laker would just say his thing, and like we didn't know what we were doing. But it was so early in podcast that it was crazy.
It's crazy how this shit evolves and changes so quickly. Like, you talk about not filming it. I mean, like, it's hard to remember how this filming every podcast, that's new.
Yes.
That's like in the last, 2 years, maybe since the pandemic? Like
a little before, yeah.
But remember when it really became the thing to
Yes,
do?
you're right.
And it's crazy to see. Like, I did WTF promoting the thing, and he's like, he still doesn't film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is like, you're like, you were an innovator, but now you're kind of behind by not filming all the guests. You know,
Same
it's
with
kind of
Burr.
crazy.
Same.
Yeah.
Burr just does audio.
Yeah.
Now, you're a guy who went to UC Berkeley and you became a comedian. So
Yes,
you're
huge
smart.
mistake.
You're a smart guy. You disappointed your parents a little bit, and also you were very early to like the YouTube game and sketches.
Yes. Yeah. Went
And-
too early. I didn't know what I was doing either, actually, honestly.
Because I knew you were coming on, I went back and watched the Archduke and that classroom sketch you had.
Yeah.
And they're really funny, dude.
Thanks,
they
man.
they
Thank
still
you.
hold up.
Thanks.
The Archduke was randomly you speak Portuguese.
Yes, I
which
studied
is-
abroad in Brazil, and then I decided to make a Portuguese rap video.
Yeah, and let's be honest, you did it for the prostitutes down there.
No, I wish. I never slept with a prostitute, and it's one of my biggest regrets
Wink,
in life.
wink, wink, wink.
No, I swear to God, not there.
I know you haven't, but I don't know why you haven't.
Well, I've went since then. I was there for the World Cup. That's the last time I was there.
Yeah.
And World Cup, you think it's gonna be this crazy party, but really, dude, it fucked up the ratio so bad in Rio. It's all dudes. I know they focus on the one hot girl in the crowd, but it's mostly dudes. So all of Rio, which usually has the hottest women in the world, is now mostly men. And I'm looking at the whorehouse. I'm thinking about going there. And there's a line snaking out, and I'm like, I can't do this. This is disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see the line. I can't.
It's like a line at Lucali's Pizzeria, but for whores. Because like, if you're gonna go to the best, it's gonna get a line.
Yeah, but that's like if you were all eating the same slice of pizza. You know what I mean? It's disgusting.
But I love the Archduke because he's a pimp from a past time.
Yes.
Who wears a diaper.
Gold diaper,
Yeah,
yes.
seeing you in a gold diaper. There it is.
Gold diaper,
Yeah.
powdered wig.
So you did a song with the Archduke, and I love that you put it in Portuguese there. Clipe nova do Archduke o campeão do mundo.
Yeah, that's me not knowing at all about, not caring about search engine things. I wrote everything in Portuguese so no one can find it. But you know, this beat of this is the second video, and the beat is made by my friend Jason, who married me and who officiated the wedding, and Mike B, your guy. I mean,
Here's the lyrics. Your pussy is magical like a unicorn. I'm going to ride it just like a unicorn. I remember this. Powder in the wig, powder in the nose, powder in the wig, powder in the nose.
Yeah, he wore a powdered wig, you know, and I thought it was like cocaine raps were big at the time. I'm like, someone should talk about this.
But
You know
dude,
what I
this
mean?
was 14 years ago, and the production is great. Dude.
Banging, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
banging.
thanks.
Like you were way ahead. Like you were doing it early. You were doing it when we were doing it.
Yeah,
Like we were doing it like 14 years ago.
Totally.
And we were early to it. It was like before you could get big from it.
Yeah.
But you were putting your shit out there. You were doing sketches and bits like this.
Yeah, it's really, I love doing sketches and stuff like that, but it just became I like things that are produced. I like to kind of work hard on things, and it takes a long time. And I think the name of the game is things that are you're able. It's not quality; it's more quantity.
Yeah.
And I cannot churn out like this. I worked really hard on this for a long time. I cannot churn things out like that on a regular basis.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or if I did, I would need a lot of money. You know?
Right. And I think it was the era too where you didn't know per se that you didn't have to have any production value.
Exactly. Yeah. That was so the story of this is that I made the first video, and this is what you're implying. I just made it to make it. This company came around called Super Deluxe. They wanted to like compete with YouTube, and they gave me a 6-figure deal to make more videos. And me, like an idiot, I'm like, and they just give me the money, and then I spend it however I want. I'm like, I want them to see that I'm really using the money like a dummy. Like instead of just like, and fucking Chelsea Peretti does a man on the street thing, pockets all the money, which is genius. You know what I mean? Me, I'm paying. I have sets. I have editors. I have costumes. Like it's like I'm a moron. You know?
Right. We struggled with that same thing. We would put something out and be like, how does it look? I don't think it looks good. And
No
then
one
you see some
cares.
fucking guy just going like, rah, throwing up on his own penis or whatever, getting like 1 million views.
I would watch that.
Yeah, it just didn't matter as much as it's hard to see things when they're new.
Yes.
It's hard to see things. And most of getting big is just like seeing it. It's just like getting it.
Yeah.
know?
Just being like just slightly ahead of the curve.
Yeah, just getting there early.
Yeah.
When it's not saturated yet.
Yeah, even putting out a special on YouTube, I was talking to Ari about it, and we were saying how it's like that's flooded the market. Like those first few full specials on YouTube, like kind of blew people's minds.
Yeah.
That being said, it's now kind of legitimate to put a special on YouTube. No one's like, why are you doing that? They get it. There's specials on YouTube. And back then, those guys took, Sam and Norman, they took a risk.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it sounds bad. That you have back then, it sounded bad. Like, you're putting it on YouTube. What the fuck, you know?
Oh,
But it
you're not
worked
good
out.
enough to get a deal or whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's the way to get the most eyeballs on it.
Totally.
Now, here's a funny question I have to you. Has the trailer that you made with all those famous people done better than the special?
Well,
Because that's got high numbers.
No, it hasn't. And
Good.
it's not the trailer. It's the cold open. It's on the special.
Oh,
it's part of the special. Yes.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
So there it
definitely-
is. So it's
yeah.
part of the special. So
Yes.
people just stop watching after that.
No, I wish. No,
I'm
no.
joking.
The problem is that everyone told me not to include it as part of the special
Yeah.
because it's bad for the algorithm. They want people want to see stand up right away.
Right.
But for me, it sets up the whole theme of the special. It sets up the ending for the special. So I wanted to include it, and so I didn't spend all this money and do it myself to not have it be exactly what I fucking want it to be.
Yeah.
So I just did it despite everyone's advice, and it's been doing well. It's almost, it's got almost like 400,000 views, which
Yeah,
is pretty good.
we're at 400,000, 399.
Yep.
This podcast will easily get it to 400, and it's only a month.
That's pretty good,
Only
right?
1 month.
I think that's not
which
bad.
is the East Coast way to say month. Month. It's 1 month. Louis Katz, the best comedian you've never heard of, is the name of it.
That's
I
not,
like that.
That's not technically the name. I just put that as a clickbait on the thumbnail. See, I'm doing all
Clickbait!
the things. Yes.
Yes. So what's the actual?
It's actually called present tense, but I didn't realize this is like a week before. I was like, oh, the thumbnail is real important.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do. Best comedian you never heard of.
Yeah.
Boom. Let people come on and be. I have someone. Now the cool thing is you hear you're getting horrible comments on YouTube. 95% glowing reviews. People love it.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while, there's someone who's like, I got a guy, you can't say you're the best comedian. That's for other people to say. And he just going off. And in the end, he says, I don't just hate your comedy. I hate you. Like, it's like, wow, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna get that type of mental illness on there.
Yeah.
It's like you hate me. We don't know each other, man.
Well, I wrote back that I hate him too.
Yeah.
But I just gave him a little piece.
Now, why did you decide to do? Did you try to sell it, or you just went straight for the?
I tried to sell it. Well, the thing about this thing is, man, I shot this thing.
Not saying that that's better, because I think this is better.
No, you know what? In the end, the theme and everything would not have worked on Netflix. It's about me being a struggling comedian.
Right.
So if that's on Netflix, it sounds like, well, no, you're not. You're on Netflix.
Right.
But on YouTube, people get that, oh, this is part of the struggle.
Right.
And I think it appeals to people on there. And that wasn't part of the strategy. That just happened organically.
Right.
But I shot this thing last May. I didn't put it out till this October, so like a year and a half later. And so at the end, the thing is, by the time it took me forever to finish it. By the time it's done, I'm not trying to sit around for 6 months for people to sit on their ass and decide if they want it or not.
Right.
I went to Netflix. It was a couple weeks. I wrote to the Netflix guy. I was like, hey, you going to do this or not? He's like, no. And I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
Putting it out. You know, it's like, I don't want to, I could not sit on it anymore. It got pushed back also because of the wedding, you know, so I had to wait.
That's the problem that was the problem with TV is just how long everything took.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And that's why it got beat by the internet, because the internet, when you have an idea, you put it up.
Yeah.
And it's like the TV is like there's so many jobs that need to get justified in getting this thing up. It's like, well, let me run it through this guy. Let me do it.
Yeah.
And like everyone's just passing around, making decisions, and you're like,
and then that's if you're lucky enough to then get it on.
Yes.
You could do years of work and then it doesn't go anywhere. That's why I'm like, I don't want to pitch anything that I can't make myself anymore. I'm no longer going to play that game. I literally have only so many years on this planet to be writing things to have them just disappear into development hell. Like, fuck that. You know, it's just unnecessary.
I remember this is a little inside baseball, but you know, if true fans will like this. So when I got that job at Fusion, when I went down to Miami in 2013, we were owned by ABC News, which was owned by Disney. So there was a lot of old school like ABC News producers down there. So I was talking to this one guy. I can't remember his name. He was a gay guy. He's been in the game for like 30 years. And he just gets it. He got it. He knew. So he told me early, he was like, this isn't going to work. He was like, this whole thing's not going to work. And the analogy he used, and this was 2013, he was like, there's no more yachts anymore. He was like, the business used to be a yacht, like a Titanic-sized yacht. And everything changed so much, and you can't turn a yacht. He was like, everything is speedboats now. And he was like, this is a yacht. And it's the speedboat era. And I was like, oh, you're right.
That's crazy.
Because, like, you know, you got to be able to do things quick, put out content quick.
That's interesting.
Now you see, this was 2013. Now you see everyone's like they're kind of like their own little speedboat.
Yeah.
And these big ships are like trying to change with the time.
Oh, everything they do is so many years behind.
Yeah, they're just so behind because they're like turning. They're going, oh, wait. They're like fucking turning the wheel.
Someone told me that Comedy Central started a podcast network last year. Yeah. And they have since closed it down. Didn't give it a chance for more than a year. So they fucked up how they started it and they fucked up how they ended it.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, just talk about not being able to change the course.
Yeah.
Comedy Central is a perfect example.
My joke about Comedy Central was a great place to release your special in the last 10 years if you wanted to hide it.
Yes.
It's a great place. It's the best place to hide it. If you're looking to hide it, go with Comedy Central.
Dude, poor Roy Wood, man. I mean,
just because of that deal with Comedy Central, I'm sure he got a lot of money and stuff, but it's like, he's such a good comedian that you'd want people to see it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, that is the advantage with YouTube. I mean, not Soder. I've talked to someone who thinks that that even HBO is not enough. Like HBO Go is not enough exposure.
I don't think it is.
That's crazy.
I don't think it is. So you're a guy who always loved hotel rooms. I remember you told me how you love hotels, you love the road. Now you're married.
Yes.
You said you're interested in having a kid.
Yeah, we're talking about it. Yeah.
So how long are you going to do this? When do we get out? When do we stop?
Comedy?
Yeah. Never?
Death.
I like that. Okay.
Well, you know, as a Jew,
I was waiting to ask you, so I know what to do. I don't know what to do. I got a family now. I'm like, can I still do this? Like, what? Can I be 60 on the road?
We're both going to get, like, we're both trying to stay in shape. But the truth is, the older and goofier we look, the funnier we're going to get. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, this face is just going to get Jewier and Jewier. And it's like, it's like, why even fight it? It's going to, like, I'm probably going to peak around, 73, you know? No, I'm very worried about that. I mean, like, I can't, because, the special is doing really well. I'm worried that it's going to do even better. And then finally I'll get all the road work I wanted right when I don't want to be on the road.
Right.
Like, what a fucking Twilight Zone fucking monkey's paw wish thing to happen to me.
That's how life works.
Yeah. Yes.
That's how life works. It's like when you want it, you don't get it, and then you're like, oh fuck. Now you're like, I'm sorry, we just got married, but now I gotta leave you.
Yes.
I've got to get divorced now because I gotta go on the road. And like, what am I supposed to do with all these women? What am I supposed to do? They're out there chanting Louis, Louis, Louis. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm sorry. I can't. So everybody go watch the special right now. It's on Louis' channel on YouTube. So check that out. It's Louis Katz Comedy, at Louis Katz Comedy.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Thanks, man.
You're going to love Louis. And then after you watch his special, you can go watch all his other videos, including some of those old ones, which are classics. And go follow Louis everywhere, man. It's so good to see you. Thanks
Great
for
to see you
dropping
too.
by.
Thanks
dude.
for having me. This is super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and follow him on social media.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
And tell him your dates. Where you gonna be?
I'm gonna be in Austin at the Creek in the Cave in the middle of December. Come see me headline there. And then in January, I'm gonna be at the Sac Punchline and also one night only at the Irvine Improv. So I'll be in all 3 of those cities over the next 2 months. Come see me.
Tickets at
LouisKatz.com.
Boom. Guys, see me live in Spokane, Washington, December 1st and 2nd. Louisville, December 15th and 16th. Revolution Hall in Portland, Oregon, January 11th. Vogue Theater, January 12th. San Francisco, February 9th and 10th. Atlanta, February 15th through the 17th. San Diego, February 23rd, 24th. Vic Theater in Chicago, March 8th. Toronto, March 23rd. Cleveland, March 29th through 30th. Tulsa, April 5th and 6th. Kansas City, April 11th through the 13th. And patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our weekly bonus episodes. Want to give a shout out to exclusiveautoshipping.com. Get a free quote if you're moving your car, you bought your car out of state. Thank you, Jared. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. Get your business check cashed in the Philly and South Jersey area by a trusted source. ForTheFree.art lists music bands in Hawaii and shows, all things music in Hawaii, ForTheFree.art. Then you can go to DisplayPros.net to get your trade booth, your custom trade booth made. They make retail fixtures and promotional items. Get 10% off if you mention me. Also, shout out to MAInsuranceServices.com. Call them at 813-260-0338. And they will cover you in the St. Petersburg, Florida area. Caprotech.com. They use AI to help you make your bets. So go see what their predictions are. You can download their app on the Apple Store or Google Play. Rebels Raider. I love this company. So it's rebels-raiders.com. Get your real deal tactical gear that's used for, everyday stuff.
He said he'll send us some stuff too.
He's going to send us some stuff. We're going to give you the address. Go check out their backpacks, their pouches for everyday carry, outside activities such as hiking, trail running, training, or just traveling at the airport. So check out rebels-raiders.com.